You got a 2012 Subaru Outback. I'm gonna do front lower ball joints. Make sure you loosen your tire up. You're gonna break the wheel lugs loose and then raise it up and support it with some jack stands if you're using that type of lift. Or if you're using a regular lift, that's fine too. But you need to remove your front tires. Remove your tires, that's a 19. And then you wanna remove your tie rod end. Make sure you remove your cotter pin out of your nut, castle nut. And then remove your castle nut, and those are 19. And then what you need to do is you need to break the taper on the tie rod end. Hit it with a hammer right here. That'll break the taper loose because it kind of like goes like that, pinches it, so it breaks the taper. So that's what you need to do. Try not to hit the boot. Try not to hit the stud. So you want to hit it right here. Really hard. Yep. Need to hit it harder. Need two hands. You get the idea. Perfect. Got it. When you're hitting it, the noise will sound different after it breaks the taper. So you need to get that out of the way so you can actually move the knuckle so you can get into that slot in between the ball joints and the lower knuckle, okay? And then next you want to remove your ball joint bolt, which is right here, okay? That bolt is a 14 millimeter. Fun thing I forgot to tell you is soak them down with some rust penetrant. So that'll help loosen things up. What you do is you put a bungee cord on it to pull on the caliper. Put it across all the way across. That way it holds it over to this side. So you can punch a chisel in there to help open that up where the ball joint goes. Okay, and then you put some penetrant in there. Keep spraying it with some penetrant. And then what you want to do when you get the chisel in there, you want to pound on the lower control arm to pull that, help pull that ball joint out of there. Check it out. I'm gonna get me a little pry bar. Pulls right out. See that? Okay. Now let me know that that's loose. You can take the cotter pin out of here, out of the nut, and take the nut off. Hit that with your hammer to break that taper loose also. And that nut was an 18 millimeter, so I'm gonna hit this right here with the hammer a couple times. Each time I hit it, I'll listen for a change in the sound of it, okay? And then I'll tap the bottom of it to see if it came loose every once in a while. What you want to do is pry the arm down. Get in there like that. Pry the arm down. That way the whole knuckle goes off to the side. And then you can pull the ball joint out of there. Okay? Just lifts up. You want to do exactly the opposite. Put it in there. And then line that up and push it back inside there. Make sure you clean this all out of there, all that rust out of there. And then put some anti-seize in there. Okay. Pull the arm down. I got it cleaned up. Pull the arm down, I put the ball joint in there. I'm gonna put the nut on it and tighten the nut. And then I'll line up the knuckle over this and allow it to pop on there. If it doesn't go on there easily, then I have to put my chisel back in there and open it up just a little bit, just so I can get in there. Well, I couldn't tighten my nut up because it kept on spinning the ball joint. So, but anyway, I pried it down and then I put the ball joint into the knuckle. Now I'm gonna put my bolt in there and tighten it up. Then I'll tighten my nut up. Okay, I tightened up my knuckle bolt and then I tightened up my ball joint nut. It's all good. Okay, now I can put my tie rod end back on and my castle nut. Okay, this side is all done, okay? Tie rod end's tight, ball joint's tight, knuckle bolt's tight. Now, if you're as lucky as I was on the other side, that's my knuckle bolt. Right there, that baby's broke. So the other half of it's stuck in the other side of the knuckle. Treat, what a treat. There's nothing sticking out. Lovely. Okay, the bolt broke off on the other side of the chisel. So what I'm doing, I put chisel in there to expand it. I'm gonna pry down on the control arm, hopefully it'll pop it out. And then hopefully I can get in there and drill that bolt out or something. I drilled it out. And I hit it with a hammer a bunch of times on the control arm, and it popped out. So now I'm gonna remove the nut. I'm gonna take the ball joint out of there. Got it out, get the new one in. And I'm just gonna put the control, pry down the control arm, and then I'll put the knuckle over it, and then I'll line it up and put this in there. And I'll get me a bolt to go in that hole with a nut. Takes a 10mm bolt. I got a metric 10mm bolt sticking all the way through it with a lock nut. All right, tightened up pretty good. Now all I need to do is tighten up my ball joint stud nut. So we got lucky. Job well done. That's why it's always nice to have sharp drill bits. And take your time drilling the hole. I stepped it and started off like at a quarter, and I worked my way up to like 7/16. Not 7/16, but like a 3/8, close to a 10, whatever that might be. So it's all good. Now you can put your tires on and torque your lug nuts. They're like 90 foot-pounds, but always double check your factory specs. There's no grease zerks on these ball joints, but that's how you do them. They ended up being pretty easy. Simple job. Certain jobs you just gotta think about what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. Okay.